Hello. So I think in my last episode, I was sharing about my parents got cheated out of their house lah. So now they have no retirement money and they're fully reliant on the children. And I think a lot of Singaporeans, those children are right now in that state lah. Parents don't really earn a lot or have no retirement plans, so we are their retirement plan. Okay, but today's topic is not that. Today's topic is on my sister. And initially, I think when she bought over this house, I remember her every time telling me that this house have because it's Ang Mo Kio, it's near the MRT, so it has very high en bloc potential, or SERS selective en bloc. So she said that, if this HDB flat cannot be SERS qualified, then I don't know what can really, because it doesn't make sense, so near MRT and then this such a valuable land. Why would they not buy over and then we got a new house? So she didn't qualify for BTO, so this one way she tried to go around it. But I think all the while, when last time I tell her this house has don't rely on SERS. I think on TikTok Live I share this thing. Last time a lot of people rely on SERS, and at the end of the day, the SERS aspect is maybe not in play anymore. And I think she was, yes, my parents need to stay inside, so selling it wasn't really an option. But I think the recent news on having the VERS voluntary one, finally, I think she gave up on SERS really. So sis, if you're hearing this video, she watched my social media, then maybe you comment whether you give up on SERS anymore or not, right? So I think to plan is when you're talking about planning for your real estate needs or your retirement needs, essentially you have to, there are things that are beyond your control, meaning what the government does and whether there's a new policy, or like now, I think the latest is that people are waiting for that removal of the 15 months. So you sell off your condo and then you can go directly into your 15 months. Without waiting for 15 months, you can downgrade to a HDB even if you're less than 55 years old for, let's say, a 5-room. But you see, these are all policies that you and me have no control over. If, based on some of my planning for my clients and some of them, how they have planned out their retirement through real estate in particular, then I would say it is never with planning done by with the misconception or with the thoughts that the government will change the policy in the future, and I cannot do this, become next time it will benefit me. My take is that one is like, in a way, another form of gambling. I'm not sure whether you agree with me. It's like, how are you gambling your future based on the fact that like in the case, this house will go en bloc, then I can get a new flat, and from cannot become can. So is it a good house to stay? So fundamentally look at this. Is it a good house to stay? Does that house fit your needs? Are you okay that potentially you may not make money if you buy this? Let's say, for example, my resale flat. Are you okay that it doesn't make money? Big enough for you? Can you live with it for a long term? And if you plan all these things, like for example, your family is comfortable, financially you're able to buy this house and be still within your means, and you don't have to stress too much, and does it fit into your retirement plan? If it doesn't, then maybe you consider something else. If everything checks out, then go for it. But don't go for it. Don't buy property with the assumption that she'll make money. Yes, Singapore is land scarce, Singapore have limited amount of land and property prices have been going up. But however, there is still a cycle to follow. There is still a trend that has been happening, like say for example, in the past, and when I do my analysis, like 2000, I think 2013 to 2019, those years resale properties do very, very badly. A lot of people don't make money. So, but the people who have the holding power, the people who can wait for the right market, in the end, COVID came and they profited. And some of them that buy resale, don't make money, suddenly become very, very wholesale rich. So before I talk about that, okay, now I am at this place called Punggol Bayview. Okay, so if we see some of my videos, Punggol Bayview, essentially, I find that if you are talking about HDB that has a better, Punggol HDB that has a better view, reservoir view. So I prefer this view honestly because this is without Pasir Gudang. So, and some of the units behind me have very awesome balcony. So this part is quieter. This part doesn't have the petroleum or gas burning smell. And this part is more serene. So initially, I think one of the HDB that, let's say when I wanted to move, this was a key consideration, and I'm pretty sure all this behind me that has that balcony, these are in hot demand, but not many people sell because HDB with balcony, not a lot of choice. Not a lot of choice. Okay, so I think back to the story. In other words, when you plan without, don't assume that you buy property, you sure make money. It's very, very disturbing. And in the industry, we see people trying to, or agents try to convince the clients that, yeah, you buy this, sure earn. But if you see some of my live content, I every time share there's 10 critical aspects that we should be looking at for real estate investing. And why I came out with these 10 critical aspects? Because essentially, if you follow some of it, like for example, transformation, if you have good transportation infrastructure, you have amenities, these are all what makes people have interest in buying over from you in the future. So if you don't have if you never follow all these rules, and sometimes we are susceptible to buying something that is, cheap, and or just because of price constraint, then you buy a certain property. I would say let's put aside that whether they make money or not. Essentially, most of the time, be it make money or don't make money, these houses with more negative attributes are the ones who take longer to sell, have a lot of people want to view, they find out, let's say your floor level, they don't want to come already. So I have a few second floor unit. Once they heard second floor, they don't want to come and view. Or if they say, yeah, you're facing this MRT track, okay, don't want to come. Facing LRT track, don't want to come. West Sun, don't want to come. So these are all the typical things that most people don't, when they buy that time, they think it's a good idea. But after everything, when they move in, okay it fits their needs. But however, they don't buy with the thought that in the future will somebody buy from me. That's whether or not I can offload, whether or not this one potential to make money or not to make money, is it there? And you may be stuck with a ticking time bomb, and sometimes you don't know, or the worst thing that can happen is you don't know that it's a bomb until it's too late. And usually, they only discover that it's a bomb when they are trying to sell, or usually it's when they try to sell and then they discover that, how come my property don't increase in price? Or how come this was so hard to sell? But trust me when I say that everybody, usually you stay, nobody find their house not nice one. Everyone will think that their house is the most wonderful house. Low floor, okay, I'm a low floor lover. Face dustbin, okay, this one, no smell one, But essentially, if you take it from the perspective of a prospect, of a buyer, you will start to see that I can buy this, but in the future, will somebody buy this from me or not? In the future, will somebody pay higher for this unit from me or not? In the future, can this potentially have some upside, or this property may not do well? And I think in the end, like for my sister's case, and what the government is doing is they keep upgrading the house, and there is, just like what the news say, the news already say that, you know, to make the house be able to last until the birth, we will upgrade, maintain it so that, you know, it can still be livable lah. And that's really what's happening. And she said that every time they upgrade, I know I'm not going to get SERS. Until one day, recently they announced no more SERS lah, left births. But the bigger issue for births versus SERS is this. Now, in my sister's case, maybe for her, I think she can afford lah. If there's a BTO option, yeah, she may not qualify lah. But for births, I keep saying this same topic, whether or not at your old age, if you stay in this house for a very long time, at your old age, can you still afford this new birth replacement flat if you are not working anymore? If you cannot afford to pay the installment, because the reality is this, I really say, I will not compensate you so high because your balance lease is lower, and since I'm going to pay you market rate of a very low lease balance, then essentially the only thing you're left with is like, okay, I have to pay the current BTO prices for the house, but I'm not compensated so much. How do retirees afford, instead of their house, can maybe I stay in a new house? Last time SERS is this, I stay in a new house, but maybe I don't need to take loan, and end of the day, I get brand new 99-year lease, don't need to take loan, I still got some cash for retirement. So that was the old scheme. New scheme, I don't think you can do that. So pay you lesser, and then your price is of the current high price. So end of the day, if these people all cannot afford, then naturally they will continue to stay. Nothing wrong with that. Continue to stay, live out the rest of their life in that house. No cash value at the end of the day, nothing to leave behind. And overall, maybe for the older generation, doesn't really matter as much. But unfortunately for the younger generation, let's say for example, if majority of your block voted no to VERS, those people who buy the old flats thinking that they can get the new one, just like my sister, may not get it when the majority of the owners cannot afford to go VERS. So 没有啦，泡汤啦。Then if 没有泡汤, then sorry lor, cannot help you. So with that, I will end this episode and see you another day. Okay, bye.